Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live show. My goodness, what a weekend. Let me introduce my co host, my partner, my friend, everyone's friend, Mr. Randall Santa Checker Lee.
Hey everybody, great to see everybody. TJM, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, it's Monday already again. Boy, those weeks just roll over. And it's June. It's June. It's crazy. Half the
Go
year's already
figure.
over.
I mean, to tell you, and I know we both had lots going on this weekend, had a great weekend. You had, of course, you mentioned last week that you've gone back to work and are doing some of your magic and your shows and things again. And so I know you worked a couple of days the weekend, and then, of course, was at the Maps get together this weekend. Tell us a little bit about it, Randy.
Oh man, Saturday. Of course, it was up at the rooftop reindeer landing, the reindeer farm in Clare, Michigan. Such a cute little place. They've got it so up decorated now and so set. The coolest thing was Friday night, there was a new reindeer born at 10 o'clock at night. Just a baby was born Friday night at like 10 o'clock. So Saturday morning, you got to see this new little thing. It was just wonderful. You got pictures with the reindeer, and we had stuff going on all day. Such a beautiful day. It was a great time at the reindeer farm. Just pictures with everybody and chit chatting and lunch and man, it was besides before that Thursday and Friday was of course CPW second class. So we had probably about 65, 70 people at the thing on Saturday. So it was a great turnout. Gorgeous day. Just beautiful. Take a train ride around the park and be out feeding the reindeer and everybody was dressed up so nice. Fantastic day. Oh, it just it, it gives you that shot in the arm sometimes, like, man, this is a wonderful business.
It is. I told folks that Saturday at our Texas State Santa Eat Meat. More on that in just a moment, though. I want to mention, though, we had Chris Burton on, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago on a Tuesday night live show. If you didn't catch that segment, go back and catch it. He's a puppeteer besides being a Santa, comedian, children's entertainer. He does many things like Randy does. And he has a puppet that he has, and it's a platypus. Now, you didn't mention the platypus, Randy. Go ahead and tell us about that.
The platypus.
Yeah, it was the sloth or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
oh,
No hand.
that's right. They have at the reindeer farm, they have a little baby sloth that you can hold and pet, and they got it in the room. It's you don't think of reindeer and well, they have llamas too, of course, but you don't think of reindeer and sloths. But it's this cute little thing that you get to hold in pictures with, and man, they're adorable looking.
I don't know if the platypus and the sloths are in the same family together. They kind of look the same. The sloths are really slow moving, have a different
They
type
are
of uh,
very slow,
hmm
but
but
cute as can be.
super cool. They're so lovable. I
And
mean,
they
that's
just
that's
wrap their arms around you. Just hold them. Their arms just wrap around your arm, and they just lay there. And it was that's why it was such a beautiful day. There was other people there at the reindeer farm besides just Santa's and Mrs. Claus's. So it was fun interacting with the regular guests also. But man, those
had to
little
been a
baby was incredible.
had to been a
Newborn was
very special
incredible.
weekend for you guys. I'm envious because you mentioned the fact that it was good weather. Now, I don't know how
Sorry to
many of
you
you
guys.
kept up with the news or not, but boy, have we been hammered down here. I'm telling you, we have had rain every day. Of course, we did not have a Tuesday night live show last Tuesday. We got knocked off at 6 a.m. When the storms rolled through, had tornado. They I don't know if they ever confirmed that it was on the ground, so it was actually a funnel cloud. Technically, rotation was spotted by a Doppler radar just above us, right here where we're at. And I mean, the thing that I'm going to always remember about this storm is I've never been in a hurricane. I've been in tornadoes before. I've been around tornadoes. Been in earthquakes. Visiting family in California before. Never a hurricane though. Now Rex Ray's on with us today. I know he always is, and he's probably laughing at me right now. But man, I don't understand how folks can handle the sustained winds for hours and hours and hours.
And the
Sometimes
water and rain
one
is
and then
just
2 days
continuous.
of sustained winds. We had 30, right at 30 minutes, sustained 80-mile-an-hour winds with gusts between 94 and 95. And I kept expecting to see, because you see these photos and videos and things, the newscast of roofs just lifting off and going, away. Of course, that happens in a tornado, but I mean, the hurricanes, you see a lot of that because the wind gets under and creates that and pushes. I was just praying that my roof didn't lift off because I just knew it was going to. Now, with all that said, you cannot go down the street. That 2 out of 3 houses, you can barely see the houses because the trees were taken down and they've chopped them up and got them on the curb for the
Really?
city to come by with their claw and pick it up, take them
Oh,
off. And it's just like that's all you see up and down every street. I mean, you go miles and miles and miles in every direction, and it's just down tree limbs, trees that fell over, trees that broke in half. And again, now back to the rain portion of it. Saturday we had our eat and meet for the Texas Day Santas, and sure enough, in the middle of eating, here comes this big, bad thunderstorm, and oh, I think we got right at 2 inches. Had 2 inches the day before. We've had 5 or 6 inches the day before that. So in a total of about 6 days, we've had probably 12 inches of rain. And that's just
that's
this week.
crazy. That's crazy
But
about
week
it. I mean,
after week after week after week, we've endured this, and everything is so soggy. You step out in the yard and you just go, it's like a marsh.
the worst thing
Uh,
is in a month you guys will be dry as a bone.
well, that's exactly the thing. It's feast or famine around here now. Speaking of feast or famine, the feast today is it's only 87 degrees outside. The bad part is it's very hazy, very humid, and a chance for big thunderstorms again this afternoon rolling in. So sometimes I feel like I live down in Florida. And again, I know Rex is laughing at me. How's y'all's weather today, Randy?
Oh man, it's another beautiful day. A little, actually, very foggy this morning, but it's turned out to be a gorgeous day again today. It's supposed to, little chance of rain tonight, but not much at all. So I'll have to get out and get the old mower going tomorrow. I just couldn't do it today. I had, rehab this morning, and it just kicked my behind. I took a nap all day after doing all that. Not, I'm not used to all that exercise in the morning, so man, it just beats me up. So I'll mow the lawn tomorrow. I'll be fine. I haven't got any.
FYI, brother. FYI, brother, you've had surgery and you've been through some traumatic events.
Uh,
Take it easy, man. You're not a spring chicken no more.
I know. Oh my God. Yeah. This week adds another number on. It sure does. That's right. This is the week, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Rex says he's actually sympathetic and sending prayers that everyone recovers. Thank you, Rex. Yes, sir. You do understand what I mean, and I know you guys down there in the South along the Gulf Coast and Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, South Texas. You see your share of bad storms, not only thunderstorms but the hurricanes, and there's been some devastating hurricanes hit. And they're predicting this year to be one of the worst on
Yeah,
record.
because of how
With
warm and
more
the
named
water is
storms
already.
and more stronger storms than in the past. Of course, the weather patterns that we're in right now and all is conducive for that. And they warned us back 6 months ago that this is the kind of spring and summer we were going to have. And I call it global warming. Call it where we're located in space at this moment, or whatever your belief system is on why it's happening. It's happening. So take caution when those radio warnings go off or TV warnings go off. Pay attention to them. Our radio probably went off 30 times in an hour and a half yesterday. Of course, we have it set up where it's not just our Dallas County. We've got all the surrounding counties, 2 counties out. That way, if a bad storm is coming, we have time to prepare. So part of that's our fault for having so many of the different locations
Was there
programmed in.
any? Was there any? I hate to ask this question, but deaths? Is anybody not?
No, not that we're aware of.
Oh, that's great in
Everybody
the area. That's great. Is
endured,
I mean,
endured all the storms,
that's good because
there are
that's the thing
still
that's
stars. There are still some without power. And as I mentioned to you earlier, some of those who had their power restored on Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday lost it again because of storms that came through again. Those heavy sustained winds that we had with the gust. it has done so much damage that even though you're still connected at one pole, that connection may not be as good as it was because of those winds. And then another little storm comes through and it snaps it, or another tree that was weakened by the first storm loses a branch and goes across the lines. And I thought years and years and years ago to myself that our country would serve itself much much better if we had a better infrastructure, and if we, instead of having elevated utility lines,
Yeah.
that they were buried. And we've kind of moved to that in little bitty increments throughout the country. But I tell you, it would serve us all, because a lot of the cost of repairing this stuff, and then turn around and it happens again. So
Yeah, and it sure would be a lot prettier too, instead of seeing all them wires and poles everywhere.
yeah,
You get used to them. You get used to them. You don't really first see them, but if you really take time to look, oh my goodness, just so it would be nice
yeah,
if we could see the old
and that brings
underground.
me to another point, Randy. We've got a power plant at the lake out here that's not far from us, and they've got the giant metal girder
Yeah.
style towers that bring the power from the power plant into the substations or transfer stations, or whatever they're called, throughout the city. And some of those even sustained damage in the storm last week, bent, twisted, and so and a kicker for us here in North Texas was Houston had sustained bad storms the week prior, maybe a week and a half prior to our storm. So a lot of our electrical linemen was sent down there to help restore their infrastructure. So when it hit here, they had to pack up down there and come up here. So that was another reason why there was such a delay, and it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days getting the power back on for so many people, because we were just shorthanded here. Okay, are you ready to, let's say hi
Oh,
to some folks? We've got a
yeah.
great bunch of people with us today. Looks like we've got Shannon McCann with us. He's always joining us here. We appreciate him. We mentioned Rex Ray, our brother down in Chipley, Florida. Charlie Johnson's on with us. Doug Wright is with us today. Doug, I think I mentioned last week. I'll mention it again, though, because I think it's worthy of mentioning. Doug has come on board with Angela and I to help take care of the Texas State Santa's Facebook group page, and to kind of become my assistant and help me out with all things there. He's got some new ideas and some new things working, and we just want Doug to know that we appreciate him and Diane, and they will be, and we'll mention this again in the program, but they will be our guests tomorrow night on the Tuesday Night Live show. So, like I said, we'll mention that more in a bit. Santa Mel is on. What some fantastic live coverage she had this weekend from the reindeer farm, you guys, and from the classes that you had up there. Fantastic job. She's out there, uh, having fun and being a part of the TNL, powered by TNL crew, and we appreciate her.
Got Jeff. We got Jeff Willett. Santa Jeff from Idaho also is on. Sal's on. We got
Phineas, Mike
Mike from
Hutchins,
Phineas is here. Yep. Doug,
Judy Broderick is on with us. Am I missing anybody?
Charlie.
I got Charlie Johnson already. Santa Scott,
Brother
Scott
Ray.
Sarah with
Ray
us. Yep.
Bradshaw is on.
Uh,
Good to see
Fantastic.
everybody. Thank you
Great,
guys.
great, great group of people.
Always a great to have you joining us. Thank you.
Yes, it sure is. All right. Are you ready to, let's go ahead and let's get into these hot topics, because they are always hot. They're always great topics, and we always have great audience participation. I look so much forward to this segment every week. So let's jump into that next. All right, Randy, you got a good one again this week,
All
as
right,
always, my friend. So let them have it.
I give this one a try. What is the hardest? Yes, the hardest part about being Santa or Mrs. Claus or an elf. Is it the contracts is the hardest part for you? Is it emotional when if you have to do a hospital visit, or if you're doing a handicap thing? Is that the hardest? Is it working those 6, 8 hour shifts at a mall or a corporate event? What is the hardest part for you about being Santa, Mrs. Claus, or an elf? My beginning hardest part was selling myself as me. I couldn't sit there and say, "Oh, I'm good Santa, I'm this and that." So I reverted back to selling it like I sold my magic and everything, kind of as a third party. I was Randy selling Magical Santa, not Magical selling Santa selling Magical Santa. So that was my hardest part was selling myself. Um, and I don't like doing the contract things and negotiating money. That's never been a good part of mine either. Um, so those to me are the hardest part. And probably still bug me the negotiating the money bit. To say, well, we don't only got this much for a budget, but we all have things we have to level in, and sometimes, of course, we do things for free. But those are my hardest. How about you, Bob? What's
Boy, do I have a lot to talk about here. Well, for me, the first couple of years, the contracts, as you mentioned, and putting together, the negotiations back and forth with your clients or potential clients, and trying to convince them that you're worth what you're asking
yeah,
for, because some folks don't see it that way from the beginning. They just think we do this for nothing. We don't have any cost associated. Contracts was tough. I mean, again, getting the wording right, making sure you had everything right, getting the signatures, getting it all back into place. But the travel time, I think, for me was lining up uh, point A, point B, point C, point D, and traveling from one side of town to the other side of town and back. Sometimes those line up for you and made it fairly pleasant, but other times you were zigzagging all day, and so that's one of the reasons why I thought, well, I've always thought about being a mall Santa. I think I'll try that, see what that's like. And of course, got in my first year, worst season I've had out of 10. Absolutely terrible manager. Nothing went right. It was a nightmare. Worked the longest hours I had ever worked, over 550 hours that year. It was crazy. It was a long season, long hours. Uh, Went home and thought about it and said, I don't know if I want to be a mall Santa or not. I can't figure out which one of these is more tasking. And I thought, what the heck? I'm at the mall. I'll give it one more chance. I knew the manager wasn't coming back, and sure enough, got one of the best managers I've ever had, any job I've ever had anywhere, and changed my whole perspective on mall work. So hey, I jumped right back in. But mall work is not for everybody. Uh,
no, no, it's
Putting
long.
up with
That's
some
long
of the
hours. That's the thing. And it doesn't matter if
well,
it's a 6 hour shift. It can be
not only the
taxing.
hours. Yeah. Yeah,
So
not only
it's
the hours though. I mean, putting up with some of the demands of the parents, putting up with their antics. Uh, if they would just realize that they're coming to see a professional who has been trained to do a job, and would just step back and let us do our job instead of constantly interfering, or just as the camera operator gets the child to smile, they run in the picture and want to straighten the skirt up a little bit more or pull the britches legs down one more time. Well, now once she grabs a hold of that, britches leg and pulls, the child slides, and I've got to reposition them. And I mean, there's a lot that goes on, that as Santas we see not only what we see with the children in the chair, but things we see going on around the set, because again, our perspective of the whole set is different. Everybody else is zeroed on us and just see us as tunnel vision. But we're sitting back here with a full gamut, full view of everything going on. And you see things going on in the mall next to you. You glance out of your eye because things may catch your attention, or just distractions. So there's a lot, either way, there's good and there's bad. You got to pick your medicine and figure out which one you like the most, which one is is the one that you can improve in, what area of, either home visits, or be it, corporate events, or whatever, as an independent contractor, or as, as a mall Santa, chair Santa. You gotta, but the key is, and this is where I was working all this too, is whatever your weaknesses are, work on those weaknesses. They can be fixed. Anything can be fixed with a little bit of work and a little bit of dedication. I'm
so
through ranting.
so
I'm
true.
sorry, I'm through ranting.
No, no, that is the it's especially when you're in a mall, like a box store, even because you can't. You're focusing on the people who are coming up, but there's people out there that want to wave, and you've got to see them too, and you've got to wave. And you've got the parents that think, like you said, Bob, know more than you about you being Santa, and I still wonder how many parents still think that we're like Uncle Bob or Uncle
Yeah.
George. Sorry, Bob. Um,
Uncle Bob.
yeah, and we just bought a 39.95 suit from J.C. Penney's, and we're gonna have a schnapps when we leave. I don't
Yeah.
I don't think they really realize how much work and effort and time and money and education we put into our crafts. So we are the experts on in the chair, and seeing a child's face, we can read those eyes pretty quick. Even though the child will be fine, I can see there's a little apprehensive, you know. But I kind of wonder how many still think that we're just some guy. Oh, you love to do it. You're an old guy with a white beard, and like you said, to money. That's what they think. Oh, you just love it. You do it for free.
And
Um,
and too, when you look at it this way, Randy, it would be wonderful if we could school the public on what we the training that we had, what we actually do, who we actually are. But because Santa is a protected entity, we don't want to ruin it for children. So if you tried to tell the parents more than a few simple commands and get into it a little bit deeper, than the children might overhear, or they might see a show like this, which we again have ours set at 18 and above. That don't mean they're not going to get on their parents and
right.
see these type of broadcasts or things that we do, but we do try to protect the children, and so therefore we can't lash out. We can't be ugly. We got to be Santa like. So it makes it hard on us for sure.
That's pretty interesting. Next week, I already got my question for next week about protecting children, about seeing so many Santas at once. That's actually a question we're going to talk about
It's
next
going to be
week.
a great
So
question. Great
yeah,
question.
so how what other Santa Claus think of that, because we have an opportunity here in Michigan where to do that, and but there could be 50 Santa's Mrs. Clauses in a major event, and we don't know if it's the right thing to do. But let's get going. We got some great answers already. Um, Bob hit it on the nail head for that. Rex Ray is it says keeping my cool with pushy and bully parents. And it's exactly what both says. Some of the parents think they know better, or they think we're the babysitter for a few moments.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a home visit, sometimes you're become the babysitter.
Yeah,
Um,
you're in the living room with
yeah,
sitting at the chair next to the Christmas tree reading the story, and where are all the parents? In the kitchen, either chowing down or
yeah,
having a little refreshment.
yeah. And Charlie Johnson says putting up with certain adults, forcing crying kids onto my knee, and
Good
that's
point.
That's rough. I gotta do this. Next is Mike from Canada for Phineas. Hardest part about being Phineas is getting folks to understand what a performing elf can do. And yeah, they just think you're there just to look cute. I'm sure, Phineas, that's probably what it is. And I'm
Yeah,
more than just a line manager or photographer. And that's because you're an entertainer. Especially Phineas is a he is an entertainer, and for people to understand that, um, they probably don't, and I think they kind of think that, maybe, I hate to say this with Mrs. Clauses sometimes, that Mrs. Claus is just there to look pretty, or to be next to Santa, but she just plays such an integral part of convincing convincing the our clients, or the lay people, that Mrs. Claus is an integral part about that. Santa Doug getting paperwork done and back to the customers. I totally agree. That's Man, I mean, these computers are great, but it doesn't make it any quicker or keep my procrastination down. It really doesn't. Computers are great to have everything on, but it doesn't change your at least my want to do it. But it's something we have to do, because without a contract or a performance confirmation, is what I call them, you're kind of screwing yourself. Excuse me. You really have to have that. Shannon, good to see you. The emotional part is the hardest thing for me to deal with. it brings tears to my eyes when you hear stories about little ones, ones even adult these days, and
Yeah.
that can just pull at your heartstrings, and then you got to keep on going somehow. That is, uh, I was at a, I do a box store also every year, and we had an exceptional amount of handicapped last year, more than ever, and it's just beautiful to happen. I mean, it is just because they're just seeing Santa, you just made their day, their week. But it just, I mean, it does. It just it digs deep. To I was talking to Saturday at the Jingle Joy about Santa, same thing. Said, yeah, he said it's wonderful, but wow, it is it's hard to get then going to the next family because you're just so emotionally connected, and you just or some child that you can tell doesn't have anything, you really want to give them everything, but you can't.
Randy,
Great
can you
one,
read the
Shannon.
question again? Ernie just joined us, and he said he missed the question. Could you read it
Oh,
for us one?
yeah. Ernie, the question is, what is the hardest part about being Santa, Mrs. Claus, or an elf? Is it the contracts? Is it the emotional times that we're talking about now? Is it the long hours, dealing with the parents? Um, just what do you feel is the hardest part about being Santa? We got Ray. Oops, let me make sure I don't skip. Yeah, they go. Ray Bradshaw's next. A long day coming on December 7th. It's going to be from 6:60. I think it's probably say 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock because it would be 7 o'clock at 6:60 to 9 p.m. Two venues, and that's what it is. Long hours they're exhausting. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It takes, but we always have to remember that first family you see at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're jovial, you're happy, you're smiling. Man, at that 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, you've got to be the same way.
That's right.
You've got to dig deep. Somehow, just got to give that smile and give your 100% plus all day long because they're seeing Santa for the first time at 9 o'clock at night, even though
Yep.
that's your 14th hour. It's
Yeah.
and that's hard to do. That is definitely hard to do.
Feed off the
Um,
children. Feed off their emotion.
yeah, and that's what you've got to let them bring you the energy.
Mhm.
Um, I've committed to both, and I'm not going to disappoint them. That is the dynamite to say. We know you won't. Santa Jeff, the emotional part when the little ones come up and saying they missed a loved one who passed away, but there are positive visits. Yeah, and those are always the rough one when even if it's just they say their puppy passed away or grandma or uncle, you know, um, that is always because we can't bring them back. We can just remind them of the beautiful memories they had, and they'll always be in their heart. And there's always wonderful ways to do it, but that can definitely, hopefully, it doesn't happen too many times in a day. But you can have a rough day like that. I definitely agree. That's the emotional one. Shannon's got another one. My mall manager loves me, and I love working for her. Uh, Shannon and my photographer, we make magic happens when we work well, and that's like Bob
That's a
said. What a
blessing.
difference! The first year was horrible, bad manager. Second year, it all changed with a different manager, and they've got to be on your side. They've got to be on your side and understand the pure value of Santa, Mrs. Claus, and elves. And let them, I don't know, they might, but they might just feel it's just something else they have to do, an added on part of their job for the holiday time and extra work. So hopefully they're, um, Ray, Broad, Ray Bradshaw said there's probably too many that things that are hard about being Santa. Um, Shannon says again, very much uh, school the public.
Yeah,
Very
talking
much.
about me schooling the public.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, and like Bob said, I wish we could. Jerry says, some venues that I do volunteer, I think you get treated differently than when you get paid. And, that's very, very, probably very true, Jerry, that,
I can see that.
yeah. And that's kind of, I do a real low paying deal every year for the National Kidney Foundation. It's a National Kidney Foundation. I give them a deal, but it's at a casino. It's fully catered. They have a newscaster come in and talk. They have, it's basically black tie, and um, I know I'm getting this much pay compared to what I usually do, but I don't I don't know if they're how they treat it is a level above just because. But you got to give back. So at least that's why I do it. Um, where are we at here? Ray says again, we are all elves helping Santa. He's a very busy fellow. Isn't that the truth? Ernie, you got the question, Ernie? Yep. Um, Ray Retro said again, parents pushing spectrum of child onto our lap. Um, they need to find me in their own. The children need to find me in their own time, and that's what we talked about. I think a week ago or so. That what
Yeah.
do you do when a child just parents just run and drop and run? Um, and they just that's where the education. I wish we could educate the parents that it takes a little time sometimes for the children to warm up. Whereas we've got this big suit, or Mrs. Claus has got this gorgeous suit and fur and everything else, and all of a sudden, here, smile. It's not that easy, and there's not many people, unless you're trained, that you can smile on command. Especially a 2, 3, 4 year old, they're not going to smile on command. Smile, smile. It's just not.
A lot of times they stick that bottom lip out, cross their arms, go.
Yep, it's even worse. They're not going to smile, regardless how much you say. You know, the quicker you get it done, you'll be able to get candy cane, or you're going to go to the store or whatever. Yeah, it's not always going to. You just have to take it a little slower sometimes.
Yeah. If I
Um,
may, right here, Randy, real quick, let me
oh,
interject
sure.
something to Bradshaw. Ray, uh, as you do this more and more, you begin to realize children on the spectrum. Now, some autistic children seem normal at face value.
Yeah,
So that's not always the
yeah,
case. But if you have a child that is on the spectrum, especially severely, you'll be able to spot those children before they get to you. My advice on that particular situation is something I've come to realize at the mall is that take a moment, stand up out of the chair, walk over to the parents and talk, with a little bit of distance between you and that child, because again, you don't want to approach them. You don't want to rush them. As you said, they need to come to you on their own time, not force yourself on them, and kind of speak to the parent what the needs are of the child, what level of spectrum are they on, you know, and then kind of try to make your visit with that child for the next, be it 3 minutes, be it 10 minutes, whatever it may be. Try to make that fit towards what the child needs and what the child is going to feel most comfortable with. And the parents know the children; they know what their child needs, what they want, what they're there for. So, and it's not always going to work out. You're not going to win them all, but it does help sometimes to take a different approach when it comes to special needs children.
because then when if a parent can give you a little inkling, or you definitely know, we then present through years of training how to talk to them, how to slowly, so they do have a better experience. So they have a better, and that's where it fits together more. If we can tell on some, but especially if a parent can let us know a little bit. I mean, it can't be exact, we don't have time to talk about it, but a little bit, then we can kind of tailor our talk. Mrs. Claus can tailor theirs to connecting with the child, and they can have an experience that they'll never forget. And that's what we definitely are. That's what we all want to do. That it's a memory that'll last forever to the child. Um, Doug Wright says doing taxes. Yeah, at the end of the year, that's a rough one, boy. You got to be pretty creative to get everything down, but make sure you don't leave anything out. Um, it may cost you a little bit more money with your accountant or whoever's doing your taxes, but take the time, keep every receipt, keep every class you go to, every time you go to a luncheon, every time you buy a new hat, every time you do a new pair of glasses, a new prop, regardless of what it is, keep your mileage. Don't forget your mileage is a huge thing. So, but taxes are no fun. That's probably worse than me going to a dentist, getting my taxes done, period. I just panic every year getting my taxes done.
It's almost as bad as going to physical therapy.
It's actually worse than going to physical therapy. Be honest with you. Yeah, it's worse than I can sleep after physical therapy. After getting my taxes done, I'm a nervous wreck. All right, Ernie. Here's got another one. Emotional part is I just experienced a company working for a company worker's grandchild just had to have brain surgery. Wow, to remove a tumor. Yikes. I uh, I sent a video, special care package, to a few gifts, signed pictures. They receive it. Yeah, see, that's where it's like, I mean, how do you not get emotional? How does that not affect you? That's it's rewarding that you're spending time with that child, so that's wonderful. But it's hard. It is a hard part of your thing.
And the emotional side of it tugs at your heartstrings.
Yeah,
And for Ernie, he handled that as a professional, did exactly what he needed to do, and I know he has made a difference for that
yeah,
family coworker and for the child. Great job, Ernie.
yeah. Really, I mean, that's where it's you did everything right to give them that special memory. Because then it was something like that. They don't know. They could be around for another 70 years, 7 years, seven. So it's beautiful job, Ernie. Shannon said, "Sorry, spelling, whatever." It's probably my reading, not your spelling, probably.
Hey,
Yeah,
Shannon, I had the same problem with speaking. I'm not an accomplished speaker, so
I'm a
what you see is
horrible, I'm
what
a
you
horrible
get.
reader. I
Celebrate you, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
as I've said this before, as Popeye says, I am what I am.
I am what I am. Yeah. All righty. Yep. Watching the line. When I have time to see what's coming up for you. That's what. Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
that's what a mall Santa's and everybody's got to do. Is there's multiple things we got to do at one time. Uh,
you are a
Santa Scott. Hope
multitasker.
you guys start drawing the NPC soon. TNL scholarship. Okay, we will, Scott and Bradshaw. Our studio is our studio is a home style environment, so it's a little easier. Very, yeah. See, and then that kind of settles the child down too if you have that look. Um, Ray said he does taxes every quarter. Yeah, sometimes it's probably a smart idea to do pay quarterly taxes. Um, I never got in that habit because once you get in that habit, you kind of got to stay in that habit to send uh, quarterly statements in and everything else. So I never did. It makes more work in January, but yeah, it's that's why people don't really understand. Like Bob was saying, they don't understand how much there is involved or about how hard it is for Santa and Mrs. Claus and elves to entertain the children for what we want to do because we want them to have a time that they'll never forget. And so it takes some work and takes some effort and but that's why you guys are here. That's why you go to schools. That's why you connected to luncheons. Like 60 or 70 some people were at Bob's last Saturday. That's a great connection with people. And
Yes.
just chit chatting with your fellow people, your fellow brothers and sisters in red can do that every week. And it's just like I said when I was there this weekend, it just gives you that shot in the arm. It just makes you feel like what a great business, you know? What a bunch of loving, caring people.
We were lucky we had a good turnout and we had some folks we hadn't seen in a while that made it out. You know how sometimes you don't see folks for a little while, so they're busy. Time, the date and time doesn't line up for them. And we had quite a few new guys this time around that hadn't been to any of our eat meets, so it was a wonderful time, as you said. And I know you guys experienced the same thing there in Michigan at Maps.
And we had it was gosh, it's just so good to see everybody. Just and so many great suits because there was reindeer. So, but he brought their suits even though it was 85 degrees out. And the sun was shining, but boy, everybody was all dressed up, and
Ain't mess that photo up.
man, you don't want to miss that photo op. But yeah, great guys. It's always an amazing, amazing bunch of answers. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. Without you folks, this is not this part doesn't work. This is the best part of the show because we all get to learn back and forth and hear stuff. So thank you. And Bob's got a good one here that I wish I did this. What Bob's gonna thing, but I never got into it. I think it's a great thing to do.
Well, it is, and it is not. Let me rephrase it. Not many Santas, Mrs. Clauses do it as you would think that do or would, but it is a great way to connect. So here, let me go ahead and throw it out here to you. How many of you do letters to Santa or letters to the Clauses, depending on if you're working as a single Santa or as a couple, or even letters to Mrs. Claus? You know, if you're working as a standalone Mrs. Claus, do you offer this on your website? And I'm going to pose a lot of different things here to you guys, so kind of listen up. Do you have a mailbox at events or at your house? Even though some Santas put mailboxes out at their home. Do you answer those letters and do you keep each, or do you do away with most but keep the selected ones that might be special or touches your heart? Do you ever reach out the next season or in the future to check on a child if you've gotten a letter where they were uh, needing a little help or had something that was troubling them or something to that effect? So there's a lot there, but I do have letters to Santa on my website. Don't get many requests for letters for Santa, but at the mall I have the very first year through my fourth season, they had a big mailbox and they had a little form over there with pens, coloring, all kinds of little cool stuff for them to do. And I got letters, would empty it out every night after we closed the set, and I would read through them. And if there was anything I could follow up on, I tried to follow up on it. Even the girls, one year I had so many, some of my staff helped me answer them, and that was kind of special. But we've had mailboxes and we've and different ones when Worldwide Photography at the time did away with that mailbox, or maybe it was the mall that did away with it. We bought a small one as the set crew and put it out there so we could continue that tradition. So it's fun, amazing. I got to tell you a quick story. One of the funniest ones I've ever received was a little girl. She was 6 or 7. I don't remember her name. I just remember the request. The request was, Santa, could you help me? I wished I didn't have a unibrow.
Oh,
Of
little girl.
course, the
Uh,
spelling was real good, but we was able to decipher that she was talking about because she drew a little picture and it had just this thing going on up there.
oh
It
no,
was
little
hilarious. We
thing.
laughed so hard, and we laughed all that whole season. When somebody would say something or look at it and say, "Well, it could be worse. You could have a unibrow."
Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Poor little. That's cute though. I mean, that's what she's. You know, I
Well, I
think
don't know
it's
if
a
she was asking for some wax or a new razor
yeah.
kit or what it was. I mean, I don't know what
Put in her
the true
stocking
thing
wax
she really
plucker,
wanted, but she made it
tweezers, and
clear she did wish she didn't have that unibrow.
oh my goodness, that's
Oh, yeah,
crazy.
funny
Unibrow for a
stuff.
little one. But I think it's a cool thing. I never did. I think it's would be fun. The big box store that I work at, they have a big, mailbox, but they empty it out every day and they send things out because it puts on their mailing list, for business. So that we don't even get to see that one. Um, the other, I do the Santa House in Birmingham, Michigan. It's a Santa House in the park, and kind of like a little shed, just like Lauren and Jeff have, but it's run by the city. They also have a box there, and um, the the son and daughter of the lady that's in charge will bring them in to show me. You want to keep this one? You want to send this? So they'll go through it first before it goes to the city, and they'll ask me if I want to send a few. But or something special. But I think it's a cool thing if you can, especially if you can reach out um, after. That's talk about freaking somebody out or having a special touch to see that. But I don't know how many people put their full address on them. If
Well, I was
they
going to say the important aspect is, and for our case at the mall, we don't want to ask for addresses
yeah,
or phone numbers. But if they're willing to include, there's a spot there. If they're willing to include their email address, then that's
yeah,
the way to
that's
get back to the parents. Then once the parents have vetted your letter to them or what your response is to them, and they feel comfortable giving it to their child, then that's up to them. It takes that creepiness out of it, you might say.
yeah, yeah.
And again, at the mall, a lot of children like to hand you their letters or their request or whatever drawings, pictures in person, and that's still wonderful because you've got that moment with that child to discuss that. But if they don't feel comfortable doing that, and or the line is long, and someone just wants to give Santa a letter or something, and they don't want to stand in line, they don't want photos, the mailbox gives them that option. So
I like it when the child lets you read their letter and everything that's on it, but the parents have to have that back. But they don't want to see that Santa's giving it back to the parents. They want to keep
you
it for either sentimental reasons, or they want to keep it because they don't know what the child wants.
know, I don't know what they've asked
Yeah, so
for.
you fold it up nice and neat as and give it to dad, kind of the backhand. But
Yeah, that's kind of a hard part. You know, something else too, Randy, is the child that doesn't tell their parents and don't want to tell their parents, but they want to
yeah,
tell Santa, and they whisper that the parents will be standing. No, y'all go over so I can tell Santa what I want. And then they whisper in Santa's ear, and then you've got to try to remember that because you know darn well those parents are going to come over there afterwards and ask you what they asked for.
what they asked
And
for.
so
Yep.
that's another one. Be alert, and be keen to that because that can happen also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
try to slip them that letter or that note or whatever back is sometimes can be pretty tricky. Sometimes
Especially
if you set this up, and this is something I try to do every year with my crew because I get new people, new set managers. You kind of have to teach them some of the ins and outs that they are not going to, understand or expect. But you tell them, if I holler at you, come over here. I may have a letter for you to hand back to the parents without the child seeing it. So a lot of times your helpers can help you while you go on with what you're doing. But be creative, figure out ways to do it.
sometimes it's rough when the children they'll cut out pictures and they'll glue them, cut out pictures and glue them, and they're 2, 3 pages. How can I fold this back up and give it to mom or dad? But
Oh yeah.
if it's that big, they'll usually come over and stand in front of you and get it. But it's always fun to give it. The parents just have to know what they want. But yeah, that's good. We got some good ideas coming up here.
Yeah, let's see. Santa Jeff says one more part that is hard is trying to answer your trivia questions when AJ is not in timeout. Yeah. AJ is the Mr. Trivia for sure. Scott Sertine says yes, have a mailbox at my set that he uses. Uh, Mike Hutchins, Phineas says we answer letters. Phineas usually accepts them from the children. We also have the Elf Break Room Fridge where we post the artwork we receive each year and take pictures for our Facebook pages to ensure that we have engagement over the season. Love that idea, Mike.
Yeah.
Ernie says, yes, I do letters from Santa. I have special stationery. I will type out on my computer, then print with an elfish font a stamp that says nice list approved and my face and gold seal. I mail it in a matching envelope with official seal of Santa. I also use a Santa North Pole stamp. Now that's taking it further than I do. Normally, Ernie, I just do the letterhead from the North Pole, Santa's, desk, and the seals and that sort of thing. But the envelope and the stamp, that's a cool touch. I like that. Mr. Shannon says, if I get letters to me, Santa, if I have a address, I will send a letter back to them for stopping by to visit with me. Or if I do a home visit or special event, I send a letter. Plus, next Christmas season, I send a letter to check in with them. And normally I get an email back or a phone call from them. Most of the time, it is from the parents. Also, I put a gold coin in the letter as a thank you to them. That's another great touch, Shannon, with the gold coin. Like that. Rex Ray says, my bed box sporting goods store brings me the cute and are touching letters to me to see an answer. That is one of the advantages for working for the sporting big box stores. Again, my coachings, often the parents just take a photo of the letter if we can't be discreet. That's another good way to handle that. Again, Santa Jeff, Verba says, I have a scrapbook that I keep my letters in. This past season, my 9-year-old granddaughter stopped in to see Santa, myself, and gave me a painting without realizing it was me. I stayed in character and have her painting and artwork until her wedding day. That is going to be
Oh
cool. Super,
man,
super cool.
that's
Everett Prostrolo says we need to call AJ out on a fire call. Good way to do it. It's more than one way to skin a cat, ain't it? Santa Tom High up in Vancouver, Washington says, so I go to the North Pole address with my zip code +4, and the post office is on the ball. It comes to my address. Google Map, your zip +4. Pretty cool. Now, what he's talking about there is, for instance, your zip code has the standard numbers, but then now they've started issuing a dash with 4 other extra numbers. Mine is 1838 behind mine, and I found out probably 8 or 9, 10 years ago that I made some sleigh driver's license, but I didn't want to have any personalized information on there other than my my address was incorrect, but the zip was correct. And you will get letters even if it's made out to Johnny on the spot and North Pole, Alaska, or whatever, as long as you got that zip right, that's what they look at, and that's how it gets to you. 1830, it is your house, and it's not going to go anywhere else. So, cool point, Santa Tom. Paul Anderson, here in Canada, if I get an addressed letter to Santa's North Pole, ho, 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 it goes to Canada's Post, and their volunteers uh, answer them. That's perfect, too. And there's a lot of different postal companies throughout the nation that have their special crews that will answer those North Pole letters to Santa instead of sending them off to somewhere else or have a Santa that does it for them. Some of the postal clerks get together and do it themselves. Good point. Tom says he got a few that away also. Very good. Uh, AJ says, what did I miss? AJ, nothing. Go back to sleep. Uh, we're just going through the hot topics, AJ. We haven't got to the trivia yet. And Angie says he's referring to you always winning trivia. Is what that is all about. Everett says to keep you busy enough to allow us to answer the question. AJ, you are so good at it. Ernie says U.S. post offices sell Christmas stamps of many kinds that look fantastic. If anyone wants to check it out. Shannon McCann says, great show, guys. My internet is acting up. We have a storm moving in, so that must be the reason why. Looking forward to talking to you guys tomorrow and looking forward to the July school. Fantastic, Shannon. Take care of yourself, man.
yeah.
If that alarm goes off, take cover, brother. All right. Goodness, as always, we've done a fantastic first half of the show here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our santascloset.org trivia question. And we'll be right back on the other side of this.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
I might remind folks that starting today, That's right. Starting today, Monday, June 3rd. The trivia question not only comes with a gift from santascloset.org, Wade Kaufman, but your name will also go in the hat for a North Pole Cornerstone Scholarship, courtesy of the Bob Randall and Company Live. All right, Randy, this is an easy one. I've made today and tomorrow's questions elementary.
Wow, yeah. Who
Very,
hasn't seen
very
this
easy.
movie a dozen times? Are you
Yes.
ready?
And the wording is exactly the way I found it. I didn't change it up any. So you type that in, you got it. Believe me.
All righty. The question is, what unscripted moment in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation led to led to actors Chevy Chase's breaking his finger? What unscripted moment in the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation led to actor Chevy Chase breaking his finger? How many? It's like a classic. It's like the Santa Claus movies. You got to see it every year. At least I do. Probably even a couple times. I know
I
next
was
month in
gonna say
July I'll watch it again because
we
it'll
watch
be
it
on.
multiple times, and
Yeah,
then of course they play it throughout the year on some of the channels, especially
yeah,
in July. So
yeah. It'll
if you
definitely
don't,
be
if
there.
you don't, I I've said this before, and it's true. My favorite Christmas show. I don't know. I mean, some people say White Christmas, some people say Miracle on 34th Street. You hear all different answers for that one, but I think that one right there is my favorite.
It's hilarious. It's just
Just
come
because
on. It's
it's
just
wacky and different. That's kind of how I am, you know.
it's just it's unique. The thing is you will always find somebody in the movie that reminds you of one of your relatives. That's the weirdest part. That's the weirdest part for me.
It
Yeah.
it is so true, so true. All right, we got some good answers coming in right off the bat. That was easy enough. I think that we got more than one right answer. We'll have to wait and see when Angela figures out who got
Sure.
their answer in first due to the timestamp. At this point, we want to go ahead and run this. Again, we want to say welcome on board to our new contributor for the Monday, Tuesday, and our new show coming on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm going to let Angela run this right here, and we'll be right back again on the other side. That's right. Larry Talbert, one of our very own fellow Santas, has been in the insurance business in most of his life. It was a family tradition. His father was an insurance man, and he has developed Santa insurance. It covers aspects that a lot of folks, other companies have not covered. So you can get your Santa, complete Santa business, your any other business you have, your home, your auto, everything bundled into one. So reach out to Larry Talbot at Talbot Insurance Services, and we want to thank him tremendously for coming on board as one of our major contributors to these shows. Okay, Randy. Uh,
So
of
much
course,
coming up.
last week was supposed to. I'm sorry.
So much coming up. It's fantastic.
Oh, I know. So last week we were supposed to have our School of Santa scholarship TNL drawing last week. Of course, we did not do a show because, again, our power and internet was off, and the show originates here in the North Texas area, so we were unable to go into our live broadcast. So we have pushed that to tomorrow night. So don't forget the School of Santa scholarship. If you won right after the July event last year, all through 2023 was a winner, and all the way up until last week, winner. Your name is in the hat. We'll be drawing those names tomorrow night for the winner for our $459 School of Santa's Branson scholarship. So if you got your name in the hat, or if you don't, you're watching, that will happen tomorrow night. We kind of talked about the Texas State Santa Eat Meet yesterday. I went to a restaurant that we had visited as a group. Me and my family go up there quite often. Fantastic food, as I said in my little video live that I did. Great service, and we had such a good time. I want to thank Spangle the Clown for dragging his 40-foot trailer down from Missouri, enduring the storms with us. And we took him out to eat Saturday night out at the lake at the harbor to a place called Rodeo Goat. If you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area and you ever want a gourmet burger that's unlike any other, you got to try the Rodeo Goat. So check that out. It was a fun time. We had north of 50. I never did get a complete head count, but it was a great time. So over to you, Randy.
All righty. Of course, there's so many things coming up. Like I said, we had the Jingle Joy over the weekend. So that was a great time at the CPW too. And then, of course, our day at the reindeer farm. Such a fun thing. Like I said earlier, there was a new baby reindeer born Friday night at 10 o'clock at night. So you see this uh, little tiny reindeer that was just born. It was cute as can be. Pictures, and there was about 60 plus there at that. So what a great weekend. What a great weekend. So, but now there's so many things coming up. Of course, can't believe how close School of Santa's is. I mean, it's like right 5 weeks
Five
away.
weeks, 5 weeks
I mean,
away.
of course, School of Santa 2024 in Branson, July 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st down in Branson. It's always that connection with Spangle where entertainment and education combined. It's just nonstop. 2 days before, 2 days after. But what a time. What you'll learn and of course learn from the keynote speaker Jeff McMullen, Santa Mac, of course from Kringle U and Ringling Brothers, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And we could talk hours about his accolades through all his years. So, but I don't know if Spangle's all filled up or not. But 5 weeks
He's
away.
he is, but he's taking standby just in case there is any
Okay.
cancellations in the next 5 weeks. So if you've been sitting on the fence and still, thinking about going, and you think it's something that you might want to do, and you want to get your name on the list, reach out to Tanya Lay at Branson Ticket Travel. Her number is easy to find, and tell her you want on that waiting list.
Of course, we're going to start putting out maps. We'll start advertising our classes also for our Red Suit Conclave. We put the first weekend in August up in Saginaw, Michigan again. This will be I think our fifth or sixth year. So that'll be going on. Um, so we're just 1 week behind on that one for some reason. We usually have the list out on Jingle Joy weekend, but we'll get all the information going on that, and of course there's some huge news starting this week um, for the Tuesday Night Live, powered by Tuesday Night Live. What's going on Wednesday and Thursday nights? So, wow,
That's
go
correct. We've
Bob,
got
this is
the
great.
Kringle Brothers. It's Kringle time. We'll debut June 5th. That's just coming up Wednesday. That will happen at 7 p.m. Central Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Michael Howell and Michael Brewer, Herbie the Elf. And if you know those two, they are a hoot when they get together. So they're going to take comedy and teaching, instruction. This is going to be a well balanced, well rounded show. We are so excited to have those guys on board on Tuesday Night Live Facebook group and our Tuesday Night Live YouTube channel that will be broadcast live. And they're putting together a couple of channels. So we're going to be pushing out to maybe 4 or 5 different locations in the upcoming weeks.
Be ready
Also,
to
we
learn,
cannot,
be ready to laugh. I mean, that's the
yeah,
thing.
also we cannot forget to mention that over on the Santa's Magical Fellowship group, which is Randy is a administrator over there with Santa Mail and a whole host of folks, that we will have two new shows coming up over there. One of those will be Sean White. She will be on in the month of June. Will be Thursday the 6th and Thursday the 20th, doing her teaching for Mrs. Claus classes. And on Thursday the 13th and the 27th, Erica Minton, Wingnut, the Elf, If you know her, she is a hoot too. Oh my gosh, these are going to be so much fun.
Wound up.
Looking forward to these. So again, new stuff coming on Wednesday nights on the Tuesday Night Live channel, and new stuff coming on Santa's Magical Fellowship group. If you're not a member over there, go over there and join. Get in on the fun because Sean White, vintage Mrs. Claus, so talented, so smart, so easy to learn from. She has so much to share, and Erica Minton with her fantastic antics and teaching that she's going to be putting on. So
Now
happy
the
to tell
exciting
you.
stage, there's 4 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, and they're all
That's right.
they're all nights are free, guys. All this education, all this fun, all this fellowship, that's all free. Will always be that way. There will be no hidden send us your yearly subscription. It's not going to happen, guys. So it's free. But now 4 nights of this. So of course, and it's always kept on YouTube or whatever. So if you can't make it live, it's always there to be seen. If you can't sleep at night, you turn it on or get up in the morning. Whenever it's there. So just a bunch of super talented people. And now we've got two ladies that have just really gonna just blow you away. I mean, Michael and Herbie. Oh, geez, it's it's they're like Bob says, it's a hoot. I don't know how else to put it. Um, but then we got Thursday nights. The Mrs. Claus is really focusing on them, and man, they just blow me away. Them ladies, they just I it's
All part of the TNL network and TNL Productions, and we're proud to power all these events and shows coming up. It's fantastic, going to be fun. Upcoming guests and shows. Well, let's run through these real quick. Tomorrow night we have Santa Doug and Diane Wright making your home visit a lasting memory. They presented at the ISC recently, a workshop. They've done the Sat Bob's North Texas class the last 2 years. They have a series of programs they put together for home visits using props, storytelling, books. Uh, they have got more stuff than a handful of us put together, and they're going to take what they consider as the best and present that tomorrow night. So looking forward to that. Can't wait. Uh, Go ahead and catch the next one, Randy.
Yeah, we got June 11th. Then we go back to Mrs. Claus's. Kimmy Claus will be here. She runs two separate Zoom meeting and then a another um, YouTube channel that she runs for all for Mrs. Claus's. Of course, those things are strictly for Mrs. Claus's, but that Tuesday night, the 11th, is for everybody. Don't miss it. It's going to connect everybody that night. So on her classes and her groups is no men, but Tuesday night the 11th is for everybody, and she's got that smile that'll get you to hook you in. And then and June 18th, it'd be the middle of June already. Santa David and good old Phineas, um, are going to be here talking about how a elf and a Santa work together. It's a total different dynamics than Santa and Mrs. Claus, but it's phenomenal. How those guys, they're both professional entertainers, and that's what makes works even more. Like Phineas said earlier, Mike said earlier, how even to explain to the clients what that character is for, what that character does, more than just smile. It does far more. Entertains, it organizes. It's a big thing, and that's on the 18th of June. Then, wow, this 4th of July's in there coming up, but July 9th is good old head elf Mitch Allen from Hire Santa. We all know Mitch and Hire Santa Company, great company nationwide. Um, uh, does Santa's, actually international Santas. He was talking last Thursday at his state of the season address that they've got quite a few international things they're looking for. But that day, Mitch is going to talk about their connection with Google Calendar. He's going to talk all about that. It's a neat way to him to know if you're busy or not busy, to contact you or not, about an upcoming gig in your area. So don't miss Mitch Allen and Jenny. They're just wonderful people at Hire Santa. They're just totally dynamite. Then, wow, then you're talking the middle of July, July 16th is the pre-Branson live show coverage about what's going to happen in Branson, and that list is long, 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 long about the educators and morning, noon, and night, what you're going to do, and when you're going to figure out how to sleep. That's the hardest part for Branson there, but that'll be on the preview show on the 16th.
That's right. We'll have Spangle, Jessica Rosa on as guests that night, and at the anchor desk will be no other than myself, Scott Seriton, and AJ Bayless. All right. Let's go ahead, and we do have a winner, I'm pretty sure, because I saw the answer. Correct, Angela?
Good.
Okay. Very good. Go ahead and read it to him, Randy, and then we'll tell who the winner is.
Alrighty. Here's the question again. What was the unscripted moment in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation that led actor Chevy Chase, boy,
Chevy.
my teeth
That's
fixed,
tough.
for breaking his finger? And the answer is when the Christmas lights don't work, Chase punches the plastic Santa in the yard. Boom. He broke his finger by accident in the
Unscripted.
it wasn't scripted. It was he broke it by punching the Santa in the movie. So the winner is
Everett Pastrana.
Everett
Everett.
Prostrollo. Fantastic, Everett. You'll get a care package coming from santascloset.org, and we'll throw your name. Your name goes in first for the drawing for the NPC, North Pole Cornerstones, January 31st through February 2nd, 2025. Great job, guys. All right. Are you ready to tips? Randy?
A little tipsy. A little tipsy. I gotta.
Here we go.
Thanks. Hello, everybody, and thank you again for letting me do Santa's tips with everybody. A couple weeks ago, I talked about the things you can bring along to the little, the puzzles and if, I guess I had a lot of people ask me about the, because of the paper dolls that most children aren't used to. Well, I also have a lot of the other things that I keep with me too, of course, are the Santa certificates from Santa. There are so many out there now that you can whoops, that's the same one. That's the one I want to serve. Nope, that's the one I want to get rid of that one. There are so many on the internet that you can get for free. Just download them to your computer, customize them. Then always customize them for your US Santa and put whatever information you want on there. But I use them. I always have some with me all the time in my car. I have a folder just like I have the other ones in there. So in case you need a last minute gift, but a lot of times they'll send this in an email or things like that. But I've even done many corporate events where I'll know ahead of time the children's names, have them all printed out on the computer and everything else. It just really helps and looks so nice when each one of the children get a certificate from Santa with their name on it, and it's something that they will remember. It's fun to get, how we go to Santa school and we get a picture with it. Oh, it adds one more wonderful photo op to have a certificate, a nice list with the children. A home visit, it's a corporate event with not too many children. It makes another wonderful photo op. Santa, Mrs. Claus, whoever it is, an elf, you can do that like we do when we go to Santa school. pose, smile with your picture. So it's just one more thing to add to your repertoire or things you can offer. All you need is of course, you need your computer and your printer, but it's always fun to have, and it adds one more things to personalize for the guests, for your clients. There's also other things that I did a couple weeks ago. I also talked about those silly cards that says, "Oh, what's your reindeer name or your elf name or whatever." Of course, there's tons of those online, but we also know that the silly Christmas um, jokes. Oh my goodness, they're as bad as dad jokes, but they are hilarious. And always have these with you. When you need a few minutes longer, you print them out. I have them in my book that I keep in there. I just pull these out, but they're just hilarious to add to your time. If you need a couple more minutes, you pull out the jokes. Here, and just take these were the ones that were. Let's just read one here. What's red and white and blue at Christmas time? Oh, sad candy cane. Yeah, it's a sad one. Um, uh, there's just so many. They're just sad. They're kind of groaners, but it's one more thing that, especially an elf, or you're waiting in line, especially if you can remember these, or you just have cards or the sheets. It will help the line will go along when you say, "Hey guys," you ask, "What kind of ball doesn't bounce? What kind of ball doesn't bounce?" A snowball. So it just adds to your entertainment value just by these silly little jokes that you can get for free on the internet. Download them, print them, however you want to do, make them into cards. Um, it's just a quick, easy idea to put in your bag, just for that backup because you never know. It's always that. I think Scott's still there. Always be prepared. Even though I was never a Boy Scout, it was more fun being a Girl Scout. Oh, shouldn't say that. I like brownies a lot. Brownies are yummy. Blondies were good too. I don't like chocolate that much. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong subject. But yeah, it's just something nice to have, to little backup, and they're free on the internet. Find them, print them, use them. Um, it just will add to your repertoire, will add to your entertainment value, will add to who you are. It flows the line. It's numerous things, especially the gifts, the tickets. It adds to another wonderful photo op. I got tons of them sending, come back and see it that they've got a photo op besides just Santa sitting on a lap. So just some ideas. The eye is not always for information, it's for ideas also. Hopefully you can use some. Thank you again, as always, for allowing me to spend some time with you like this and come up with some ideas that I've done through the years. So thank you very much. And thank you for joining us as always.
Randy, you got more stuff in your head and your bag of tricks than most of us have ever dreamed of.
I don't know. It's pretty empty there sometimes. It just kind of.
All right, so I have had a question posed by Sue Radloff, and I tried for some reason there's no way to put this into live as we're live right this moment. So I'm gonna try to do something here real quick. I'm gonna see if this will let me share my screen. And I don't know if I have this. I think it's on screen one. No.
Right, but you don't have to put it in here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to answer Judith's question while you're doing that.
Okay, go ahead.
Judith, I actually, that's why I have so many in my computer. I always have them, but as long as I don't print up too many ahead of time or have blank ones, I'll change them every year. That's why I just have so many here to show you, because I have so many on the computer. So I do change them and kind of have them every year. I don't always take them to the house every year, especially if I'm doing the same house. I might have them with me, but I don't always. But a new corporate event or whatever, then I do, but not as a every year. But it's just a new idea for a photo op. So
Okay, I think I've got this figured out. Let me try it real quick. It'll take just a second because Angela is going to have to put that up. All right, so I don't know if you've got your phone handy or not. If you do, you might take a screenshot, or if you're on your computer, use your screenshot that is available there to take a picture of that. This is just the TNL network shows, including the Bob Randall and Company that's on right now on Mondays, our Tuesday night live show on Tuesdays, the Kringle Brothers coming up on Wednesdays, and then on Santa's Magical Fellowship Group on Thursdays, you have the weekly fellowship from 6 Central Time or 7 Eastern. And then from 7 to 8, you'll have the two alternating shows of Sean White and Erica Minton Wingnut the Elf. And if anyone else wants to take a screenshot of that while it's up, feel free. That is just a listing that we have put together. I put that together yesterday, but I thought I could actually put it in the comments, but it won't let me right now while we're live. But I promise I will put that up on our group page, and we'll also post it possibly in the comments after the show is over with. That way everyone will get a copy of it. Post that up near your computer, put it on your refrigerator, or wherever you hang those important things, and check some of these shows out. It's going to be fun. All right, I'm
And
going to
also to
stop.
let everybody know that Thursday's show will go past June, even those dates are showing just June. It will go till the TNL season ends at the end of October. But those
That's
are the
correct.
dates that they're alternating. Just to want to let people know that it's not just a 1 month deal
No,
of
no, no.
Sean and Erica.
It'll
It
be a
will be an ongoing.
season long shows. I was trying, it's kind of hard to explain how you do alternating shows, and so I thought, okay, we'll put the month of
Yeah.
June. But yes, Randy has a great point. Those will be every month, and they'll alternate with Sean White going the first and third Thursdays, and Erica going the second and fourth Tuesdays. So.
Thursdays.
And Randy, we got storms right on top of us right now. I don't know if you've
Uh-oh.
got radar, but we've got some big ones coming at us again. So I'm going to go ahead
Uh-oh.
and
Well,
we're
let's
going to jump into the nightcap real
yeah.
quick because we don't want to get knocked off the air. So Angela, let's go ahead and run nightcap. Again, another little great book to put in your book bag. I do want to say, though, that it is about religion, so you got to be careful where you present this. You got to know your clientele. Of course, now if you're doing a vacation Bible school or a church event or somewhere where religion is widely accepted, fantastic book. It goes into the fact that there's lots of things that we celebrate at Christmas time, but the true meaning is the birth of our Savior, Lord Jesus Christ. So again, be careful with it, but it is a fantastic book, well illustrated, well written. I'll tell you what, the author, she's phenomenal. If you haven't checked her out, check her out. She's got lots of award-winning books on the market for children. So
Yeah, see,
fantastic,
that's
Doc.
definitely is good to have that for a home visit if you know if you know your clientele for it.
Yes.
It's you need, and I'll say the word need, a book like that for the real reason for Christmas.
Yeah.
You need one of those. It's wonderful to read Rudolph. It's wonderful to read the Twas Night and everything else, but when you have a small book like that, you don't always use it. Like Bob said, be careful when you don't want to offend and cause any problems because we're not religious. Santa's not, but in the right time, it's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of books just like that one that go into the fact that Jesus is the reason for the season. They're children books, more than I could imagine. But in my research, I chose this one because of the author and the message was perfect, and it is an award-winning bestseller. So that tells you something right there in itself. So Randy, what a fantastic show. I know we had a couple of things that Angela starred. Let me go back and see if I can pick those up real quick.
I like Santa Tom's. Did you know the Christmas alphabet has Noel? Has Noel in the Christmas alphabet? That's one of those silly dad jokes. Like I said, it's just fun to do when somebody's in a line. You get everybody involved. That's why print them out, use them.
I like this one here. Again, Tom Hines and a Tom says Kringle Brothers. I learned nothing from
Nothing.
them at ISC. Too busy being entertained to take notes.
And that's why you
Perfect,
better get ready for your cheeks to be smiling. So
perfectly written. Jeff says, Santa Jeff says, Santa and the Mrs. will be at SOS in Branson. This is our first Santa school. We are looking forward to seeing everyone and learning more. We're going into our third official year wearing the red suit. Congratulations, Jeff. We are so excited that you're coming to SOS. And I'll tell you what, brother, I'm not sure what day you're going to arrive, but if it be Tuesday, we'll do a small piece with you live. If it's on Thursday, we'll catch you and get you guys on camera and introduce you to everyone and let everyone put a face to the name, which is really cool. So just find me or find Santa Scott Saratine and or Spangle, and we'll get you on, man. You're part of the family here. I'm not sure
fantastic.
what Tom was referring to here. He says I've got a few that way. Always respond. I think he's talking about the Christmas letters again, the letters to Santa. All right, fantastic, man. I tell you what, these shows, I'm blown away by the audience participation, how well schooled everyone is, how
Yeah.
helpful. Again, Randy and I appreciate you guys. And Angela does a fantastic job. She's
Yay, Angela.
again over there working hard and hardly ever, mention, but we do like to mention when we can the great job she does. And thank you to everyone for participating and always having our back. We do appreciate it. And we couldn't do these shows, guys, without you. I mean, me and Randy can sit here and chat in private messages, but we do this for you guys. And you know what it is, Randy? They're free.
And always will be free, guys.
And here's the
Um,
thing, it's not just what we put out, but it's also what you guys share and what you share with others. Don't let the brotherhood, sisterhood, fellowship end. Keep it going. Reach out to someone in your community. Help them out, help the new guys out. Like Jeff said, this is their third season, but they've never been to a school. So it's
fantastic.
gonna be fun having them on board. Okay, Randy. I hope your
Thank
weather's
you, guys.
better than ours. We got some pretty heavy storms
Yeah,
just
we'll
coming
just
into
batten
North
down
Dallas
hatches. Be
County, so
careful.
we're going to button down the hatches, and
Okay.
I've got about a half a dozen boards left in building that ark out here, so I'm going to go build it real quick and finish it up. So I'm forever going to float away.
I know Randy and Debbie Neely had a lot of flooding in their house down there. They had a lot of flooding, so
Please
my
say
prayers
a
go to them.
prayer.
Yeah, prayers go
Please
to
say a
them.
prayer for Randy and Debbie.
Yeah,
They came to our eating meet. They said we just got to get away. They went 4.5 days, almost five. Well, I guess it was 5 days without electricity. So they went a day and a half longer than we did. I was going crazy. I don't know how they done it, but they went to a hotel one night. They went and stayed with family another night. When they got home, they opened the door, stepped in, and there was water standing in their house. Carpet's only a year old, had new carpet put in, so now it's soaked. They thought maybe the roof was leaking or that it had gotten so high around the foundation that it was coming in the weep holes along the bottom of the foundation and brick. They got a slab leak. So they're looking at major repairs, and just say a prayer for them. They need it. They need some strength. They need some brotherhood and backing, and just let you know that you're there for them. All right, Randy. Thank you so much, brother. As always, we want to thank
Bye,
everyone
guys.
for joining us. As we said, it's been a long show, but we love doing these shows, and we love you. Till next time, hey, come join us tomorrow night. Right? Great
And
show.
Wednesday and
And Doug,
Thursday.
right? Diane. That's right. Thank
Are we
four
done?
four nights. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.